It might not be the case everywhere, but in many major cities across the world, faster than gigabit internet, 2.5 gig, 3 gig, 5 gig, 8 gig, 10 gigabit internet is becoming more common every day. And frankly, there's just not a lot of options if you want a router that can actually take advantage of those things. And maybe not just take advantage of it on a router level with one gigabit port, but take advantage of it for all your devices past that 10 gigabit, 5 gigabit, however faster than 1 gigabit internet you have to the rest of your network. And this new product from Ubiquiti, the Cloud Gateway Fiber, is supposed to do just that. And you'll see what I mean in a second. A little bit bigger. This is the big brother to their Cloud Gateway Max. Kind of looks like you took 2 Cloud Gateway Maxes and glued them together, maybe like 1.8 of them. We've also got a power brick. This thing doesn't use USB-C. That's interesting. It's just a DC barrel jack, but it does, oh boy. This is a 54 volt, 1.1 amp power brick. So that's around 60 watts max. And it just uses a normal barrel jack. Now, how long is this cable? I'm jumping the gun a little bit. We've got the, see, there's an AC power cable. I like this a lot. See, some companies give you a power brick like this and it's got the prongs on it and you go right into the wall, which sucks if you have applications that don't support that very well, and also doesn't make it very international friendly. This one, on the other hand, uses a C5 cable and a C6 socket to allow you to, well, I mean, with this little cable, this looks like a little 2-footer. Might be a little bit longer than that. Let's just measure it. So we've got a 2-foot AC to C5 cable, and then we've got our C6 power brick with another 5 feet on there. That gives you around 7 feet of power cable, which is a fair bit. And if you, for whatever reason, were using this in like a server rack or something, which as you'll see in a minute here, you totally could. You could get a different cable and hook right up to your PDU, or if you were in Europe or whatever, yeah, easy peasy. We've got propaganda. Wait, there's 2 baggies of feet. Is there supposed to be 2 bags of feet? And then one of those cute ether lighting cables. I don't actually think that this thing has ether lighting, which if you're not familiar is RGB lighting on the Ethernet ports of Ubiquiti products, some of them anyways. They've got these special cables that are translucent that help diffuse the RGB and make it look cool. But these ones, not only are they shielded, but it actually has sleeving to it, which looks pretty nice. Oh my God, this isn't a drilling template. This template that came in the box is a template for putting the feet on. It's not a drilling template. Huh? I guess I screwed up. I put the feet in the wrong spot. We've got the signature Ubiquiti little screen on the front. This is a 0.96 inch little display there. And then on the bottom, the feet that I definitely applied in a symmetrical manner. We've got some ventilation, and then on the back, that's what you really wanna see. Look at that. Starting on the left, we have a 4-port, 2.5 gigabit switch right here. Look at that, that's beautiful. Lovely, 10 of 10. Very happy to see that. One of which, if you look really closely, has PoE plus, that is. So not only do you have a bunch of ports to use, but one of them can be PoE plus. So you can actually run an access point directly off this thing. No switch required, no PoE injector. That's sick. We've also got another RJ45. This is a 10 gigabit one used as a WAN input in case you're not coming off of SFP. We've got another 10 gigabit SFP plus port, which is a LAN port. That's what I was saying earlier. You can pass your up to 10 gigabit internet connection through to another device or to a switch or whatever you want. And then we've got another SFP plus 10 gigabit port, but that is a WAN port. Knowing Ubiquiti, you'll be able to reassign these, I'm sure, and I bet you can use this one as a LAN port, but we'll check that later. We've got our DC barrel jack input here, and then a recessed reset button. I've been seeing on some Ubiquiti products recently that they've been doing like a nice reset button on the bottom that doesn't require a pokey bit to get into. Would have liked to see that here, but also this thing is just pretty baller. Now all of this is pretty sick, but it gets even sicker when we get to the price, which I'm not gonna tell you yet because we still have to look at the other side, which has the storage. It's got a little sneaky link on the side here, a little Porterino that you can put an M.2 SSD in. They don't actually include the tray. You have to buy that separately for $19 US, but you can also buy it with storage pre-installed, either in a 1 terabyte or a 2 terabyte, or with no storage at all. Although given the fact that it has like the network configuration, I imagine there is some amount of storage in here. It's just not enough to run like security cameras or UniFi Talk, which is their voice over IP phone solution, or Connect or anything like that. And that's important because this thing can run all of those things at the same time, including being a router and doing your networking. So why don't we plug it in and see? I don't actually know if this one came with storage, to be honest. They only sell up to 2 terabyte and only rate it for up to 2 terabyte, but you can get 8 terabyte M.2 SSDs. So in theory, you could put 8 terabytes of storage in here. It's not as much as you can put in a Dream Machine Pro, which has a hard drive port. You can put like 30 terabytes in there these days. But 8 terabytes is a lot, especially if you're, only got a couple cameras or whatever. So let's plug this bad girl in here. Can you guys guess what's on the screen right now? I think it's gonna be Ubiquiti logo. I wonder if it auto rotates. Damn it, it's just our sponsor.
Thanks to Vessi for sponsoring this video. Spring weather can be pretty unpredictable, with sun one day and a torrential downpour the next. With a pair of Vessis though, you can leave uncertainty at the door and step into the weekend in comfort and style. Check out the aptly named Weekend Sneakers. It's nice and stylish for your regular old stroll around town, and thanks to its patented Dymatex material, can keep your socks dry in the rain too. Plus, it's got a lightweight, high rebound midsole for extra cushiony comfort. Pick one up at vessi.com/ShortCircuit to get 15% off your first pair today.
Beat the tariffs with the ShipStorm sale event at LTTstore.com. We are offering free shipping on any order worldwide over $150 US. So it's a great time to pick up a commuter backpack, a precision screwdriver, or a stylish framework hoodie. Oh, I took it off to put on this jacket. The point is, we've also got never before seen pricing on our MCM Essentials bundle. Don't miss it. We'll have it linked down below.
This is the little metal doodad lock tool I'm talking about. You just take this and you just do a little, oh yeah. Hey, look at that. Again, just like on the Gateway Max, I really don't love that this port is not useful for normies unless you buy that $19 tray or you buy it with storage. You can't throw your own M.2 SSD in here if you buy it with no storage. You have to buy the tray. You can 3D print models. I've already seen people make models for this, but come on, Ubiquiti, like, it's gotta be like a $1 part to make. Like, just include it in the box. What the heck, guys? Oh, there's a fan in there.
Oh yeah.
You hear the air?
Yeah.
So it's not just passive, it's got a little fan in there. It's incredibly quiet. Look at that. Cloud Gateway Fiber, tap to set up. Damn, look at those internet speeds. Internally, it's a quad-core ARM-based A73 processor, clocking up to 2.2 gigahertz. It's got 3 gigabytes of RAM. They don't list the internal storage because I imagine it's not very much. And you also have that M.2 slot. Has a 30 watt PoE budget of output power for PoE Plus, and it can draw a max power consumption of 29.4 watts, excluding PoE. Let me switch over to the laptop and we'll continue from there. I got this Sonnet Tech Solo 10G 10 gigabit to Thunderbolt adapter here for my laptop, so we can do some speed tests at full speed. Let's take a look at this thing. She looks mint there, buddy. So I've got our SFP port using a little SFP to RJ45 adapter. That's our internet coming in. And then I'm using the other one that is also labeled as a WAN port as a LAN port because I adjusted the configuration and it just worked. Sick. So that's plugging in our laptop here. Let me turn the Wi-Fi off. And then there we go, lovely. Okay, look at this. We got open speed test running. That is on a device that is on this network. And if we just hit it with some gas here. In theory, this should be able to saturate pretty dang close to 10 gigabit. The port that it's on the other side technically does have some other things running on it. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's more like 9 or 8, but we should get really close. 8 gig down, 9.7 up. I mean, that's basically what I expected. 9 gig, come on, give it to me. I mean, it's pretty clear to me that this thing can route at 10 gigabit, like pretty much without any issues. I mean, there's always gonna be a little bit of overhead, and realistically, who knows what's going on in this Thunderbolt dock. And like I said, the port on the other side could also be doing some other stuff, but we did successfully do a 9 gigabit download test and a 9.7, almost 9.8 gigabit upload test. So as far as I'm concerned, this thing can do what it says it can do. This thing can handle a full 10 gigabit internet connection, just doing a speed test over the internet, no problem. And it also can do, if you're into it and you have some network security stuff, IPS and IDS up to 5 gigabit as per the rating. They also rate it for 50 plus UniFi devices under management. That could be like 20 switches and 20 access points and still have 10 plus to spare. And 500 plus active clients connected. That means you could have a ton of different people on the network running off this tiny little device, which honestly, it's still barely even getting warm. Alrighty, look at this here, boys and girls. In this little stack I got here, I got our Cloud Gateway Fiber, our 10 gigabit router here running all of our UniFi apps. I got a little camera plugged in directly into the PoE port, so it's being powered off of it. You can see, she's right there. And then we've got the new UniFi Express 7, which is like an all-in-one access point gateway kind of device, but it doesn't do all the other apps. I'm using it as an access point because I didn't have an access point over here, but I did have this. We'll have a video on this soon. We go back to our network device here. We can see our Cloud Gateway Max rocks here, working great. Everything's great. We got our camera adopted. We've got our Express 7 access point adopted. So we've got a Wi-Fi network going off of that. We've got this going off that. I have IDS and IPS, which is intrusion detection and intrusion prevention, which if you're not familiar, they're just security features you can use to analyze the traffic on your network and try to block threats at a network level. They're not always the most effective, to be honest. There are usually better ways of doing that, like endpoint protection, but it is part of a security stack that you definitely can use and these devices can run. And in theory, this one can run it at 5 gigabit, it says. So I wanna run another speed test here. 7 gigabit download with IPS and IDS turned on and in the most maximum annoying blockage hardcore mode. Look at that. 9.79, I'm getting full 10 gigabit upload and like 6.5 to 7 gigabit download with it fully on, even though they only rate it for 5 gigabit. So if you're looking for something that can do IPS and IDS, even with a 5 gigabit internet connection, even with a 7 gigabit Ethernet connection, this can do it. And that's not even like with it not doing anything. We have this security camera running off of it. Hey. But man, this thing is a freaking tank. You can have multiple WANs, load balance them, fail them over. In my mind, this thing, if you don't need a hard drive slot for basically everyone, just slaughters the base Ubiquiti Dream Machine, which is more expensive. If we go to Ubiquiti's website and look under cloud gateways, the Cloud Gateway Fiber is $280 and can handle a full 10 gigabit routing setup and IPS and IDS up to 5 gigabit for $280. If we look at the Dream Machine Pro, it's $380, another $100 on top. It is rated for a bit more. In theory, it can do 1,000 simultaneous users and 100 plus devices, which is double what this is in theory rated for, but it has lower IDS and IPS throughput. It's only rated for 3.5 gigabit. It also has a hard drive slot, but it doesn't have PoE output. Honestly, for most people's use cases, especially if you're gonna have a switch anyways, or especially if you have an NVR, this thing freaking kills. I mean, dang, it kind of speaks for itself. If you're somebody that has above 1 gigabit internet and you have discrete other devices already, like you already have access points or you already have an NVR. I mean, honestly, even if you don't have an NVR, you only need a few cameras. You already have a switch if you need more than 4 ports, like it honestly slays. The only things I could really think I would want is like a rack mount accessory for it. So you could rack mount 2 of these maybe, high availability setup, you know? Or a USB port, so you could have external storage, like an external hard drive if you wanted to run Protect. Now I know they don't do that because A, it has an M.2, but there's capacity limitations there, and B, because they don't want to fully cannibalize the Dream Machine lineup, but man, this thing is pretty sick. It's making me regret my decision to build a DIY router, because for $279 USD, you're gonna have a really hard time building a router that can do 10 gigabit. I don't even know if it's possible, honestly. But you know what is possible? Hitting the like button and leaving a comment about what you think about this thing. I don't know that they have high availability for these yet. I'd have to check. But once they do, man, these things, whew, even when they don't, like small business, this thing slays.